My name is Quiana, and this is my story. I really don't know where to start. I really don't.
Sometimes I feel so all alone.
I grew up in a small town outside of Baltimore, Maryland. Living in Baltimore and growing up in New Jersey and seeing the things you saw, like, you had to really be able to carry your own and know who you are, or you would get sucked up from like the drugs and getting pregnant and being on a street corner. I decided that I was going to take a semester off of college, and I decided to do that to find myself. And when I did that, I met this guy, and he was going to school here in Houston, Texas, and he would come to visit. He was like, "Why do you want to stay in this mess?" He was like, "Whatever, you don't deserve this life. You know, you can have so much more. Come to Houston with me." So I was like, "Oh, you know." So of course my parents were against it. They were like, "Yeah, go to Houston, but if you're going to follow some guy, don't go." So yeah, you know what I did. I moved in with this dude. So I became so totally dependent on him for money, for food, sometimes books, sometimes money for tuition. He saved me, so I felt like I owed him. I thought of myself as Quiana, this person's girlfriend, not Quiana, the person who happens to be the girlfriend or the student or the daughter. And so it got to the point where, like, I really lost myself in this person. I didn't even know who I was. I really didn't care to find out who I was because, you know, I mean, I didn't really want to discover if there may be things about myself that I didn't like, or I had weaknesses. So fast forward, time goes on, and we've been together for about 4 or 5 years at this time. And I was like, I want to get married. You know, my next step, I'm done being your girlfriend. It's time for me to be your wife. Well, the day he asked me to marry him, inside I was like, oh, I should say no. I really don't want to get married to this guy. I should say no. Like, I just started growing. First, I really didn't want to be. Deep down, I did not want to marry him, but I wasn't about to tell everybody who was, you know, rooting for us and after we've been together for so long, because this wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't, like, you know, disrespecting me, or in my mind, he wasn't disrespecting me. He wasn't doing all the things that women complain about. So what was I worried about? We playing married folks right now. We live together, so it's not gonna be that much different. So we went straight in, like, the next day planning this wedding. The next day, I had my dress in like a week. Dang. I was ready. After I purchased my wedding dress, after that day, from that day, I was never faithful to him ever again. Like, I found every way to step out, every way to, like, just not think about him or the wedding. I really don't know. You know, I couldn't tell you what made me want to step out. You know what I mean? But I didn't even feel bad. I felt bad about getting caught. He finally said, okay, that's enough. You know, you can't expect us to be able to move forward. You have, you know, stepped out of our relationship. You stepped out of our situation, and there's no coming back from that. And he was like, so you're on your own. And I was terrified. I mean, he was paying my bills. He was giving me money. You know, he had been supporting me for the past 4 or 5 years. And I didn't know how to be anybody else except for this dude's girl. Like, I had to live on my own. I was terrified of being by myself. Not only because, like, I was used to sharing a place with somebody, but there were things I was going to find out when it was quiet in my house. I did not want to, like, just face the realities of my weaknesses and my fears. I did not want to do that, but I also didn't want to take responsibility for my strengths. I had to get rid of people I had to get rid of, ideas I had to get rid of, like, and I did not want to do that. I did not want to face my fears or my insecurities or the things that, you know, and admit that I was weak in a lot of areas. I did not want to face that. Like, okay, so I cried every single day. I slept all day for 7 days straight. 7 days, because basically my world as I knew it was done. So on the 7th day, I would never forget, it was like a Sunday, and I was going to go to church, and I didn't. And like, it was like maybe midnight going into that Monday. I was supposed to be at work that day. And like, I just woke up, and I was like, I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done crying. I'm done. The reality is it's time to be an adult and figure out what it is you're gonna do and do it. Just go for it. You're on your own now. You have all the freedom in the world. Thinking about it, the mistake wasn't, not listening to my mom and moving in with this dude, or it wasn't accepting the proposal, and it wasn't really cheating on him. It was like really replacing God with him. Like, I put him where God needs to be. If I need to be uplifted, I should have known to go to God. If I needed to, if I needed to eat anything that I needed, I felt like in many ways, we make excuses. We're like, well, God put this person in my life, so it must be okay. No. God showed me, he was like, man, there's nobody that's going to be better than me ever in your life. I am the only one. And every time you try to put somebody else in that place, you're going to be disappointed. And he was like, I feed you, I clothe you. Because I got to the point where I was like, well, what do I do and where do I go? And he was like, you ready? Or you ready for me or not? I've been here waiting for you for the past 5 or 6 years, Quiana. And you went this route, and now look at you. Life is awesome. Like, I smile more. This might sound so cliche, but I just feel so free. I feel free and happy to be whoever I want to be, and if you don't like it, oh well. Like, that is my biggest victory, is like just being happy in my own skin. Like, bumps, bruises, scars, and all, I do not care. I do not care. I just have like this sense of freedom and peace about decisions I make, and that feels so good.